Mist hung like a silvery veil across the vast forest, its tendrils weaving around trunks so wide that even 10 grown men holding hands could not encircle them. Rising higher than the eye could follow, these ancient giants bore something rare houses nestled in their arms, glowing with amber light as if the trees themselves were alive and breathing warmth into the dusk. This was Lunareth, the city among the trees. The elven architects of old had bound their lives to the forest, refusing to scar the land with stone or forge. Instead, they carved their homes into the trunks and branches of the colossal elders, not by axe or saw, but by song and spell. The wood had bent and shaped willingly, grown into bridges, windows, and spires, all without pain. To dwell in Lunareth was to live in harmony with the forest's heartbeat, to know its whispers as one's own breath. But not all was well beneath the glowing canopy. A stranger in the roots. It was on the eve of the Verdant Moon Festival when lanterns shaped like leaves were hung upon the walkways and music drifted, like pollen through the air, that a stranger arrived at the roots of the great tree of Vaenor, the largest and oldest of them all. Her name was Serenia, though no one in Lunareth yet knew it. Cloaked in storm gray, she emerged from the fog that clung stubbornly to the lower forest. The villagers who glimpsed her swore later that the mist recoiled from her steps, as if unwilling to touch her boots. Serenia tilted her hood back, her eyes catching the golden glow of the houses above. They reflected amber like molten fire. She smiled faintly. "This is where it begins," she whispered. Arender's doubt high above, young Arender O'Fallon, an apprentice to the Lord Keepers, leaned on the rail of a suspended bridge. His fingers brushed along the woven vines that served as its ropes. The boy had always loved the view, the dizzying sight of hundreds of glowing windows scattered across the titanic trees, like stars that had descended to live among them. Yet tonight, unease prickled his thoughts. For weeks now, he had dreamt of roots writhing beneath the soil, of dark water flooding the hollows, of a whisper that carried no words but filled his heart with dread. He had spoken of it to Mistress Calwyn, his mentor, but she had waved it aside as the stirrings of a young mind too eager for mystery. But Arender knew dreams in Lunareth were not always just dreams. The festival, that night, the village blossomed with celebration. Bridges swayed under the dancing steps of elves, and songs rang out as crystal instruments played tones that shimmered in the cool air. Lanterns floated upward on spells of levitation, drifting like fireflies toward the canopy. Children leaned over balconies, laughing, their hair adorned with silver leaf crowns. And then Serenia appeared among them. Her arrival caused no commotion at first. Many assumed she was a guest from another grove city, though her garb was rougher, her cloak stitched not with leaf patterns but with sigils that shimmered faintly like runes under moonlight. She walked with purpose through the crowd, ascending stairways and bridges that wound ever higher until she reached the central hollow where the festival's heart lay. There, a bonfire of enchanted flame blazed blue, feeding on no wood yet crackling merrily, and the elders of Lunareth stood in council. Serenia raised her hands. "People of Lunareth, I bring you warning. The prophecy of the roots, the music stilled, the laughter faltered. Even the flame seemed to hush, its crackle subdued." Serenia's eyes swept the gathering. "The roots of these trees stretch deeper than you know, entwined with rivers of magic older than the first dawn. Long have they whispered to me, and I have heard what you would not. A hunger festers below, a shadow that gnaws at the lifeblood of the forest. The verdant moon above us is not an omen of plenty, but of awakening. Unless you act, the very trees you cherish will turn hollow, and Lunareth will fall into silence." Gasps rippled through the elves. Some scoffed, muttering that she was a fearmonger, a wanderer seeking to sow unrest. But others, especially the young, felt the chill of truth in her words. Arender's heart pounded. "It's the dream. She speaks of my dream." He stepped forward. "I believe her, The divided council, the elders debated deep into the night. Some, like Mistress Kelwyn, dismissed Serenia's claim as fabrication. Our songs bind the trees. They are eternal. No shadow can sunder what we have kept for millennia. Others, unsettled by the conviction in Serenia's eyes and the tremor in the earth that seemed to stir even then, urged caution. What if she speaks truth? Can we risk ignoring such a warning? Arender found himself standing beside Serenia, though fear made his voice quiver. I have seen it in dream visions, roots writhing, darkness rising. If we do nothing, all this, he gestured to the glowing bridges, the laughing children, the lanterns still drifting upward, will be gone. At last the council resolved to send scouts into the deep roots, caverns where few dared tread. Serenia insisted on joining them, and, to his own surprise, Arender was chosen to accompany her. To descend, the entrance lay at the base of Vaenor itself, where roots the size of towers plunged into the earth. A hollow had opened there, wide enough to swallow a small house. The air that breathed from it was damp and sour, like rotting leaves. Torches enchanted with steady flame lit their path as they descended winding tunnels. The further they went, the more the roots twisted unnaturally, curling like claws. Strange fungi pulsed with sickly green light, and whispers faint yet pressing tickled their ears. Do you hear that? Arender asked. Serenia's face was grim. Yes, it is the hunger. The hollow heart. At last they reached a cavern vast enough to contain all of Lunareth's bridges. At its center lay a chasm filled with black water, its surface rippling, though no wind stirred. Roots plunged into it, their bark grayed and cracked, as though drinking poison. From the water rose shaped shadows with no form, writhing and stretching like smoke given will. They reached hungrily toward the scouts, hissing. The hollow heart, Serenia whispered. It has awakened. The shadows lunged. The battle beneath the roots, arrows of moon silver sang from elven boughs, striking the shades only to dissolve harmlessly. The creatures shrieked, their sound like tearing bark. Serenia drew a dagger carved from obsidian, its edge glowing faintly with runes. She slashed at the nearest shade, and to Arender's astonishment, it dissipated with a wail. This is no foe of wood or stone, she shouted. Only blood-bound magic can harm them. Arender, trembling, remembered his dreams, the whisper that had clawed at his soul. He closed his eyes and began to sing, not a song he had been taught, but one that welled from deep within. His voice echoed strange and wild, and the roots shuddered in response. Light, golden as the lanterns of Lunareth, poured from his hands. The shades recoiled. The poisoned water hissed and steamed. You are the key, Serenia gasped. The forest chose you. Arender shook his head. I don't understand. Why? Because you listen to the whispers, little tree singer, Serenia said, her eyes shining with unshed tears. Your song can banish the darkness, but you must give it power. She thrust the dagger into his hand, its obsidian catching the light. Then sacrifice me. Before he could stop her, Serenia plunged the dagger into her palm and pressed her blood to the nearest root. Runes flared, racing like fire along the tangled mass. The cavern shook. The black water screamed as if alive. Arender's song rose, weaving with her sacrifice. The light burst outward, searing the shadows into nothing. The chasm collapsed inward, swallowing its darkness. And Serenia was gone. Dawn and lunar ETH. When the scouts returned, carrying only Arender, the village wept. The council honored Serenia as one of their own, though she had come stranger. They wove her name into their songs, and each verdant moon festival thereafter, lanterns were lit not only in celebration but in remembrance. Arender never forgot the whisper of the hollow heart, nor the woman who had given her life to silence it.